New this morning, the search and rescue efforts in Oklahoma are in high gear right now after a huge tornado devastated a city there yesterday afternoon.
Here's what we know so far this morning. The tornado literally flattened the town of Morch, just south of Oklahoma City. At least 51 people are dead, including 20 children. The twister was at times 1.5 miles, even 2 miles wide. Winds, they think, topped 200 miles an hour. We're going to hear a lot more about this as we go through the day. Bigad Shaban is live in Moore with the latest. Good morning, Bigad.
We are here at a staging area set up by the American Red Cross, and they estimate some 600 first responders have come through since last night to pick up food and get some rest in between shifts, because even early this morning, there's no telling just how long this recovery and cleanup effort will last after that devastating twister that stretched at least half a mile wide.
Flashlights scan back and forth across the rubble as rescuers work through the night looking for survivors of Monday's massive tornado in Moore, Oklahoma. Isabella Rojas says she was trapped in her classroom.
I really got stuck because all the desks were on top of us and the teacher got stuck.
Searchers focus much of their attention on Plaza Towers Elementary School, which took a direct hit.
Our hearts are just broken for the parents that are wondering the state of their children that have been in the schools that have been hit today.
Some children were rescued, but dozens are feared trapped in the rubble.
We are very hopeful that we're going to be able to find those individuals tonight and that we're going to get them the medical treatment that they need.
Officials designated this church as a meeting area for parents of missing children to come and wait for any news about their kids. For some, it's been a long and anxious night.
This has turned into a massive tornado, as you can see these live pictures.
The twister started just south of Oklahoma City and quickly gained strength. By the time it hit Moore, it was 1 mile wide and packed winds of up to 200 miles per hour. The damage stretched for 7 miles. Moore is no stranger to destructive storms. The town was devastated in 1999 when a tornado with the highest winds ever recorded made a direct hit on the community.
More than 200 people were injured, including at least 50 children. And it's believed at least another 24 kids are missing under the rubble. Reporting live in Moore, Oklahoma, I'm Bigad Shaban. Now back to you.
All right, thank you for that report, Bigad. We'll check back in with you in about an hour or so. A spokeswoman for the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office says as many as 40 more deaths could eventually be added to the death toll.
All right, and you know, Kristen really got a good look at this devastating tornado. Let's turn our attention to her, who has some pretty impressive images of this monster tornado that we saw.
Yeah, Kristen?
Yeah, take a look at this. I don't want to step in front of the video so that way you guys can see, but this is a look at the tornado that hit Moore, Oklahoma yesterday. It created a 20-mile long path and it packed 200-mile-an-hour winds, and actually they're going to be out there looking at these, surveying the damage, and it could happen that the winds are actually a little bit stronger than that, maybe up near 300 miles an hour. The warning for this storm issued at 2:40. It was 16 minutes later that it touched down on the ground, so very little time for people to get shelter. And the biggest part about this whole storm was the debris. Because of how strong the winds were, it was carried 100 miles away from the town. I want to go ahead and show you a quick look at the radar image from this tornado, and this is where it's located right here. And if you look really closely at the center, this actually the radar picking up the debris that's being carried up very high into the air, carried 100 miles away up to the northeast. People yesterday afternoon were finding debris coming down out of the sky up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So a very, very powerful system, and they could be looking at the potential for more tornadoes again today. I'll have more on your weather here in New Mexico and more on that also coming up in just a bit.
All right, Kristen, we will have continuing coverage on this monster tornado right here this morning on KRQE News 13. In other news, though, could wild horses in New Mexico end up in the state's new horse slaughterhouse?
Well, that is what some people are fearing this morning once Valley Meats gets the final okay to open its doors. Dozens of wild horses roam the village of Placitas. People there say they've been spending a lot more time in the village because of the drought. They're out there looking for food and water. And now folks are worried these horses could be at risk because they're worth a couple $100 each at auction.
They talk so much about taking them away and having them put in a slaughterhouse, which, I mean, we are just totally against.
Valley Meat passed its USDA inspection back in April and is now waiting on a permit to start slaughtering horses. Well, if you or someone you know got taken advantage of by the guy police call El Dentista, the state health department wants to help you. It's offering free testing and counseling to people who went to Oliver Kessler for dental work. Police say he ran an illegal mobile dentist lab out of his car with those filthy tools and drugs. To get help, all you have to do is go to the Santa Fe County Public Health Office. You do not need an appointment. Police in Las Vegas, New Mexico say they could arrest more people at any time now.
Yeah, it's all in connection to a gruesome murder from this weekend. Investigators say Jose Montoya shot and killed Angel Arroyo at these apartments you'll see in a moment Friday night. They say Montoya then got another guy, Gary Esquivel, to help set the apartments on fire. Firefighters got it out and found Arroyo's body. He was 32 years old. The two suspects were arrested in and around the Albuquerque area.
Well, the driver who killed a bicycle rider in Albuquerque 3 years ago is still in jail this morning, accused of driving drunk and recklessly.
I feel like I have to get back involved in this process to let the criminal justice system know that she should not be released.
That is Sherry Anderson, David Anderson's widow. Miranda Pacheco killed him in 2010 and spent 90 days in jail on careless driving charges. Sherry Anderson was in court with Miranda Pacheco yesterday. The judge set Pacheco's bond at $15,000, which means she could get free on $1,500. But she also has a no bond hold for violating her probation. The semi-driver accused of causing this head-on crash that killed 3 people back in January is now charged with careless driving. Witnesses say Ali Secondo crossed the median on I-40 here near Grants and slammed into a rental truck, killing 3 men from California. Secondo could spend 90 days in jail if convicted.
Some local heroes are scheduled to have a special breakfast later this morning. The American Red Cross in New Mexico will honor the 41 members of the PNM team that responded to Superstorm Sandy at the 5th annual Real Heroes Breakfast and Awards. The Bonita Fire Department will be also honored for their response to the Little Bear Fire this last summer. And our very own Chief Meteorologist Mark Ronchetti will be the master of ceremonies at this event. And speaking of helping those in need, some Albuquerque firefighters came to the rescue of a mother duck and her 9 ducklings as they tried to cross Taylor Ranch at Montaña during rush hour last night. Look at these pictures here. The firefighters helped the mother cross, then carried the ducklings in a box across the street to a pond. There's a good deed for you.
It is. These ducks are going crazy these days. There are a lot of ducklings around and little baby geese as well. So be careful when you drive in your ponds and see them out there. They don't necessarily stop for cars. They want you to stop for them.
Well, we hope you're